And the next person I want to introduce is a good friend of mine. His name is Jeff Goldberg.
Keep it going for your host, Allison Persky, the Queen of White Castle. Happy Hanukkah, everybody. A lot of Jews in the audience tonight, right? All right. Well, now that I think about it, hi. Hello. I work alone, Miriam, thank you. The last time I had this many Jewish eyes looking at me waiting for something to come out of my mouth, it was 55 years ago, and I was about to launch into my Haftorah. Yeah. So we got married Jews here, single Jews here. What's your name, sir? Yeah, you. It's not a trick.
Okay.
Shay?
Yeah.
You're married, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. He looks miserable. Shay, I was married for 10 years. Obviously, when I say was, didn't work out. The more time we spent together, the more I realized we thought very differently on things. Like, when we went to name our son, I suggested Zachary. Without missing a beat, she looks at me and says, "What's the difference what we call this kid? You and I both know the only first name that goes with Goldberg is Doctor." On his first job with his philosophy degree. Last week I taught him how to say, "Would you like fries with that?" Now I don't want to make it sound like being married was all bad, Shay. It wasn't. My ex and I have 2 wonderful children. We have 3 kids, but 2 out of the 3 are really, really terrific. Yeah, the oldest one just graduated college in May. I'm very proud of her. And my younger daughter, Skylar, slept over Friday night. That was sweet. We watched a movie Friday night. And then Saturday morning, I woke up a little early because I had some writing to do. I was doing a gig in the city last night. And just as I was finishing up, Skylar comes into my office, all sleepy-eyed, and says, "Hey, Daddy, are you almost done with your work?" And I said, "Yes, sweetheart, actually, I just finished. What can I do for you?" And she said, "Well, if you're done with your work, can we get high together?" Right? I said, "Honey, I'll give you 3 reasons why we're not going to get high together. Number 1, I'm not some friend from school. I'm your father. And secondly, I've got a show to do tonight. I got to stay clear-headed. And third, and this is probably the most important thing, when it comes to raising you kids, I've got some rules. And if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times, we're not getting high together until you graduate kindergarten." Exceptional parenting skills. Yeah, what else can I do? Oh, I'm dating again. That's a fucking nightmare. And I'd love to blame you ladies, except it's not you. It's me. I'm sapiosexual, which means I'm attracted to intelligence. But, and I'm embarrassed to admit this in front of you guys, I also need a woman to be really physically beautiful if I'm going out with her. And you may not think it to look at me, but I've dated some incredibly stunning women. In fact, just this summer, I was dating a model. She was so good looking, I couldn't figure out what she was doing with me. In fact, once we were going to an art gallery in Soho, and as a couple of guys are passing us in the opposite direction, I overheard one say to the other, "That guy got that woman? Huh! I'll bet he's either filthy rich or incredibly well hung." Just a possible point of interest for any single ladies here tonight. I'm not wealthy. Excuse me, ma'am, my eyes are up here. I told that joke last night, and a woman sitting in the front row after I said it, she's going like this. I couldn't let it go. I said, "Honey, what are you shaking your head about?" She goes, "Jeff." She actually stood up. She goes, "Jeff, you just implied that you're well endowed. And I think we all know that Jewish men are not exactly known for being well hung." I had to educate her. I said, "Au contraire, my dear. We Jews are so confident that before we even know how big it's going to be, we cut off an inch." You like that one? The pandemic changed my dating. Oh, I forgot to tell you this. You've probably heard the saying, once you go black, you'll never go back. Well, when it comes to me, it's more like, once you go Jew, it's like you never knew. So when the pandemic hit, I started doing what I call virtual dating. Some people call that Pornhub. This guy gets it. We call that the laughter of recognition. Actually, I go out on a lot of blind dates. I don't know why. They're always weird. They never work out. In fact, I went out with a woman a couple of weeks ago, And she showed up at the restaurant with her dog in her purse. I know, it's funny, right? Now, here's the thing. I love dogs. I love all dogs and hate most people. In fact, I can pretty much tolerate anybody for maybe 10 minutes at most. You guys got like another 3.5 minutes. Anyway, she's got her dog in her purse, which I didn't mind until she ordered a lobster for herself and a steak for the dog. Exactly. This woman just went, yeah, that's what I went to. I said, honey, not for nothing, but you're feeding that dog a $65 filet mignon. And she says, well, what'd you want me to feed him? The last date we went on, he got sick from the lobster. Oh, I had another blind date recently. This was great. I thought I was doing incredibly well because the woman kept winking at me all night long. I'm thinking I'm doing great. Turns out, and you can't make this up, she had an uncontrollable facial twitch. Yeah. But she was really good looking other than the twitch, and she was very smart, so I called her the next morning to ask her out on another date. I barely got the first words out of my mouth before she says, Jeff, you seem like a nice guy, but you're a 68-year-old pot-smoking, wannabe stand-up comedian paying child support for 3 kids. I'm going to take a pass. Oof, that hit so close to home that I developed a twitch. I don't know if any of you guys have the same problem I do, and I'm not talking about that my dick is too big. Call back. It's that I can't remember people's names. Anybody else? I can't remember people's names to save my life. Really. I'm good at faces, names, horrible. In fact, I have to wake up in the morning and check my own driver's license just to remember my own name. But I've developed a trick that I use when I can't remember somebody's name. In fact, I used it last night. I'm walking from Penn Station to the Broadway Comedy Club to do a show, and I'm walking through Times Square, and you know, it's crowded, but about half a block up, I see a guy making eye contact with me with a big smile on his face. I'm thinking, oh, I know this guy. I've worked with him. In fact, I think I even opened for him once, and as he's getting closer and closer, I'm like panicking. I can't remember his name. He comes up to me with this huge smile, gives me a big hug, and he goes, Jeff! And I hugged him back, and I went, dude! That's not the trick. So we chat like you do for a couple of minutes, and I finally came clean. I said, hey man, I'm so sorry, but I can't remember your name. I know we've worked together before. What is it again? And he looked at me like I had escaped from a mental institution. He looked at me and goes, Jeff, it's me, Dave. And I said, no, I know your first name, Dave. I can't remember your last name. And he said, Chappelle. So for all my members of the tribe, happy Hanukkah. For all you shiksas and shagitses, Merry Christmas. I'm Jeff Goldberg. Thank you very much.